Happy Labor Day, everybody, and welcome to Virtual Happy Hour. And my Max there. He is, wave Max, and he's looking out the window for Mama. Let me give you. There he is, right there, folks, looking out the window for Mama as he's waiting patiently for her to show back up at the grocery store. While we're waiting patiently, I'm going to unveil an exciting, pretty tasty beer here. Just a second. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. You guys are going to be the show about absolutely zero. That's what makes this so great. Here we go. Everybody, and welcome to Monday's edition of Virtual Happy Hour Time. Glad you're along, Kevin, Mike, David, whoever you guys are with. Again, the dog, he's had I want to say traumatic day. He had to make a little vet trip today, and it was a little. He usually knows that when we back up and we go right up the alley, that means probably things are okay. Maybe he's going to Kansas, somewhere. Now he go left, or if Mama walks him too far left, that means he's going to the groomer, and that's kind of, well, the vet actually is to the right, so he went with me today, and then I met Mom there at the vet as well. But he's waiting for Mama. There he is. Hey, bud, you want to go to Kansas? Hey, Max. Hey, Max, you want to go to Kansas? He likes going to Kansas. He loves the T-bones. But he's looking for Mom there. I'll let you guys check him out. Glad you're along. Yes, your dogs do the same thing. It's funny because he knows. She went to do she proctored some tests this morning for some kids. One of the kids she tutors, and it was kind of like a normal day around here. Now school starts for her on Friday in person. Now she's been in class teaching virtually. But a normal day for him, when she goes, let's say, for a 7:30 meeting on campus or, 8 o'clock class, so she'll leave here 7:15, 7:20. It's only 5 minutes from here to school. It's not very far. But most of the time, after he'll do the morning walk with her, he usually goes and gets his spot down the couch downstairs, kind of position there, and he'll kick it, and he'll come check on me if I'm kind of rustling around and getting up. He'll come check on me. Sometimes he'll come up, and if it's early, she really leaves early, and it's still dark out, especially the winter months, he will come back upstairs and kick it with me in the bedroom until I jump up. But we've both been kind of getting up fairly, not today as much, but fairly early with our workouts and what have you. Anyway, he usually, once she goes to her school routine, he's pretty good about not worrying about what's going on. But he's been so spoiled with her being, home. We've both been home since March, that every time we leave, he's either perched up here in my day bed in my office, looking over at the patio and to the alley, or he's at the doorway saying goodbye to us. Then he races up here to get a good view. And it's the same thing he does in Kansas City. In Kansas City, we're actually on the second floor, and there's this huge window in the bedroom which faces the parking lot. You'll hear the beep beep, especially 11:30, 12 at night, and he'll hear our voices, and you'll see him looking out the window, or he's on the couch over the top of the couch looking out the other window. So dogs are funny, aren't they? They're hilarious. And the animals, man's best friend, the dog, and then of course the man's best nemesis, sometimes, not always, the cat. But we have both, and we're not really cat people, but Kitty's, she's phenomenal. She's great. They're both awesome. So animals are great. Anyway, I'm going to unveil a beer for you guys today that I tried yesterday. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen this. I'm going to give you guys, if you're in the South, you recognize this, right? What Best Made is? Best Made is Pickles. That light is really on it. You guys see that? Let me turn the light off so you get a better view over there. There, you guys can kind of see it there. Best Made sour pickle beer, made in Texas by Texans. It's by Martin Brewery, which is in Fort Worth. It's a maker of that. I mentioned to Kevin a couple weeks ago that I found a really good raspberry ale up in the Twin Cities last summer. And the closest thing I can find to it is this Martin does a sour raspberry ale as well. And that's how I kind of started following them on Instagram. I saw they came up with this. The Best Made, you can't have burgers. We can't have hot dogs without some relish from Best Made. Or you can't have burgers without some dill, hamburger dills from Best Made. Best Made is, again, it's kind of, I think it's a Southern thing. I mean, it always seemed like it is. Let's see, just out of curiosity. Yeah, if they're out of Fort Worth. And I'm trying to think what else they made. Pickles, they make all kinds of pickles. The hamburger dill slices are a big deal. They do some other things. They do Bloody Mary pickles. They do all kinds of relish, sweet pickles. But pickles are their business, really. But they've come up with this collaboration with Martin Brewery over in Fort Worth for this Best Made sour pickle beer. And I had one last night. The wife didn't think it was very good, or she just looked at me like, eh. At our dinner last night. I like it. I mean, yes, it's definitely pickle juice in there, but I used to not want to be one that I was never one to trick up beer back in the day. I mean, fraternity days and college days. The only time I really tricked up beer would have been in the morning, especially in West Texas. I might have had a red beer, what they call red eye, which is basically Bloody Mary mix and a beer. You have a lot of folks down in Texas now do what they call micheladas. Michelada is basically a Bloody Mary beer, a little spice to it. You can actually buy them in the fridge, in the beer case aisle. The singles they actually sell Michelada beers. Like Budweiser does one, a Bud Light and a Budweiser version, which is a Bloody Mary beer. But in general, I don't usually trick up beer. I'm usually pretty much Corona and lime. If I do anything from Mexico, it's kind of a lime and some salt. Anything domestic, it's going to be pretty much straightforward beer, nothing put in there. Anything from over in Europe, especially anything German, very straightforward. Obviously, anything from the UK. Australia, they don't trick beer up over there. They're over there in Australia, they have cider. Cider's a big player. My wife and I have really enjoyed some of our ciders over there. But enchiladas are they're all the rage, but here's the deal. Southwest Airlines, which based in Dallas, began on a cocktail napkin back in the late 60s when they launched in 1970, I believe, between Dallas, Houston, San Antonio. They actually do a triangle on the map, and it became really it replaced the railroad, basically. Back in the old days, the train would take you from here to New Orleans, here to Houston, or whatever, back in the 50s, whatever. But that all went away. Passenger rail service pretty much went away. Now Amtrak's still around, but not what it used to be. To get around Texas via train was no longer an option. Southwest Airlines became a big player. And Southwest Airlines began on a napkin in Love Field, and they would basically do a triangle, and they were basically flew in Texas. That was it. You want to go to Lubbock, Midland, Corpus Christi, El Paso, and they started adding the 5 states around. I won't go into all of that, but originally the 5 surrounding states were allowed. You could fly there, but you couldn't fly anywhere else in the 5 states because there was a thing called the Wright Amendment, and it protected DFW Airport, all a bunch of nonsense. Anyway, the point is, when I'm getting back to Southwest Airlines, when you fly Southwest, even to this day, they won't look at you like Bloody Mary mix and a beer. You order Coors Light, Bud Light, whatever it is they got, Miller Lite beer. You give them a coupon from your coupon for your beer coupon. And you'd ask for Bloody Mary mix, and they didn't even blink an eye because that was something very much you would see on Southwest Airlines. It was. I mean, I had a ton of time again from Los Angeles or Vegas back to Lubbock, or even Vegas to Chicago on Southwest back in the day, because most of those flight attendants trained in Dallas. Many of those folks were trained in Texas and kind of spread out. But the flight attendant culture on Southwest Airlines is the Michelada beer. This goes back many, many, many years. The Red Eye beer was a big player, and so you go to a tailgate party at an early 11 o'clock game in Lubbock against say Texas A&M, and you'd have Michelada beers. You'd have Red Eye, call them Red Eyes, or Bloody Mary beers or Bloody beers or whatever. It was very. That's the only time I tricked up beers. So for me to have this and trick it up is kind of a big deal because again, I don't really trick up much beer. I don't. It's. I mean, you don't really have to trick up a lot of beer. Is what I'm saying. But yes. Uh, Chiladas are the rage, and if you go to a lot of really, especially seafood restaurants in the Metroplex in Texas, also some very good taco stands. Really, pretty much any Mexican restaurant's going to have probably some kind of homemade chilada they'll make for you. A Dos Equis or even a Corona or whatever beer you want, they'll make one. And now I believe you go and Kevin knows this. You go to the liquor store, there's several different varieties of chiladas there, and spicy, not so spicy, but it was really good though. This actually, I could see this being really good with the Bloody Mary mix. It's the spice to it. I can see this best made pickle beer, this pickle beer right here. If you can see the best made pickle, I can see this being combining this with some real good spice, some Tabasco, some Bloody Mary mix. Be pretty damn good. This is pretty good though. Pickle juice is supposed to kind of rehydrate you, isn't it? So all good. So yeah, I unveiled that best made again. It's a Martin Brewery in Fort Worth. They make all kinds. They've got a couple. I think there's a chocolate beer. And again, I follow them on Instagram. That's why I saw that. I was like, wait, Best Made. And I know Best Made because Best Made. Again, there's certain staples of Texas, and that's one of them that you would get. There's a bean as well. The ranch style beans were made in Fort Worth, and they were big in the cans. And now I think it's been purchased by somebody else, but the ranch style bean company was one of those things. There's certain things. I think Best Made also makes pickled okra as well. But again, the hamburger dills, that is what, if you grew up in Texas, you know what Best Made. Anyway, Best Made beer. Going to see Don out there as well. Glad everybody's doing well on Monday. Happy Labor Day. Not much different here, except we have some friends coming over. I'm going to wrap it up a little early today. Going to see Kyle out there and Tracy as well. I'm going to wrap it up a little early today. We have some folks, friends of ours coming over from church to have a little dinner with us here tonight. And pretty much did the normal workout. Didn't really do anything different today. I had a good weekend, though. We did enjoyed a Saturday night with Caroline came home from University of Dallas, and we had a great meal at Fernando's, our Saturday night spot here in Dallas, and had the awesomeness of Fernando's. And then Friday, I think we did Friday. No, forget. No, I did grill. Oh, we grilled out yesterday. Big feast yesterday. We made ribeyes, thin ribeyes, lobster tail, which were on special. They were $5, $9. Jim's going to join me in a second. And then we had oysters. Thinking of she's back. I thought she was at the store. You're back, babe. You're already back. What's going on? You snuck in. I didn't hear the dog bark there.
Yeah, I did not sneak. I don't know why you think I sneak, but I didn't sneak. I came back, and I have a dozen Tiff's treats, assorted Tiff's treats for dessert. And I was just wiping down all of the handles. I don't know. I mean, like, I think we have to err on the side of caution for friends. I mean, like, we're fine. I'm sure they're fine, but I make them comfortable.
Well,
so I went ahead and wiped everything down.
Sky's falling, so you'll definitely make it over the top.
The sky is really kind of not falling in Dallas. It's getting a lot better. It's just I don't know other people's degree of worry. And so if they have a high degree of worry, I want to make them feel good. So
there's a cat.
Yeah, there's the cat. She's
Fernando's rocks, by the way. We love it, Tracy.
Fernando's oh my gosh, we love Fernando's.
GM does a thing there, and it's an appetizer, and they have this pretty much. I think a lot of Tex-Mex places in Texas have this, that queso flameada. Is that how you say it? I mean, you love that with the chorizo in it, and but although our waiter told us that the alcohol actually is not.
He likes it better without it, so I'll have to try that without it. Although, I mean, normally I eat half of it, and I ate the whole damn thing last time, and I'm still paying for it. And the worst part is I can't really pay for it today because I had to get up early. So I didn't have time to do my run like I normally do, and then we're having this
You got a shout out, by the way. I don't know if you're paying attention.
I'm gonna have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and do a 3-hour run to get rid of all the calories I've eaten in the last 2 days. But I also got some Corona Premier.
Good for you. I got my pickle beer.
I know. I wanted to chime in on that. That's disgusting. It even smells like a pickle jar. Like,
but that isn't Best Made a Texas thing, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you grew up and you had to have Best Made relish with their hot dog, Best Made pickle. I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah. It went with Mrs. Baird's bread.
And the Ranch Style Bean Factory over in Fort Worth.
Yeah. No,
which
that's all
somebody else
Texas.
brought up.
And I'm thrilled that you're drinking a beer made by Texans for Texans, but it smells like pickle juice, and I'm not drinking pickle juice.
How far you're not paying attention, but Tracy's asking. First off, she said, "Hi, beautiful friend," and then she's asking how far you're running. You're not much of a
not far enough, Tracy. Really, in the mornings with the dog, we walk a little. We walk, and I drag him for about 2 miles, and then I shove him back in the house, and I usually go run between 1 and 2. So I am not I'm not one of those crazy people that runs marathons, or like I run just far enough to keep my ticker ticking and not far enough to go crazy, because it has to be sustainable to me. So small distances, little amounts of time, because I don't have much of either. Time is the big thing. I mean, now that school's back in session, I can just get up whenever I want and head out the door. I have to budget it in my day. And so sometimes the budgeting it during the day, Kitty, gross. Sometimes budgeting in the day means running at night at the end of the day, which I'm not a big fan of.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if you know my trepidation of having to dread something. I hate having to. That's the part of the hardest part of my job is the fact that I got to do all this work during the daytime for a 7 o'clock broadcast during the baseball season. And I don't dread that part of it. There's a lot of work going into it. I love it when we play day games because I love to get my chores, my duties over with, having to wait around till 7 o'clock. And so that's why my workout is so hard anyway on my body, that waiting around my problem is if I wait around till 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, where I'm maybe cooler, at least in August. It's not, obviously, it's not August anymore, but I'll just blow it off. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week or whatever. But
well, just for the record, he works out for at least an hour, and I'm doing good maybe to get a combined 45 minutes in. Sometimes it's combined 40, 38, something like that. Just kind of depends on the day.
Kevin, I'm telling you,
it's 10 minutes walking the dog, and then I have to be off to do this thing. So I'm in a deficit big time today.
We're going to be a high of 80 tomorrow, 79. I'm sorry, 90 tomorrow, 80, 79 on Thursday.
Okay, so
we're at 66 in 2 nights.
Yay! I see Kevin's comment about dill pickle potato chips. Now I'm all over dill pickle potato chips. That sounds delicious. That sounds like something I could get on board with. But dill pickle beer, I'm out. No, thank you.
Well, anyway, I was just saying earlier, and you may have heard me say, I don't think tricking up beer is generally a good idea, but I have I do like this. I do like the raspberry sour, and then which is these people.
Yeah, you like that? It's too sour for me. It needs a little more sweet.
And then
that's just because I'm sweet and you're kind of sour.
Yeah, that's true. Pretty much. I mean, when you don't have a job and you're pretty much floundering out in the wind, it's kind of like, yeah.
That's not on you, babe.
What do you mean? Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter. People don't know that. You can't wear a sandwich board saying it's not my fault. It's still somebody's fault, and it's my fault. So we're not going to get into that right now.
COVID?
No, that's actually the Chinese fault, but we're not going to get into that either.
No. It would be nice if your institution communicated with you. That's all I'm going to say.
No, that's not really probably the place to say that, sweetheart, but okay.
Saying.
Good, but yeah, but you're right. But think about it though. Only thing we really trick up in beer is anything Mexican. We seem to put limes and salt in it.
I didn't get limes with the Corona Premier. Maybe I could have. Germans
don't put anything in their beer. I don't think I have never had anything from the UK that's got, even Australia. The closest thing they trick up in Australia is going to be anything like cider, but even then it's not really. Now Australians tend to make more They do have a lot more variety of beer because there are a lot more breweries over there. They do some tricked up stuff, but
Love my cider.
cider's one of them. They do some really good ciders.
Make diet cider. Like, where are those people? Like, why can't we
Oh,
make cider
don't
light?
know. I imagine it's probably I imagine the fake sweetener would taste dreadful, I would think.
No, or just lower sweetener. I mean, like, I want a light cider. I might Google it and see if anybody makes.
But there were, I mean, there's several, like, for example, Little Creatures is a brewery there in Perth out of Frio, and they do some fruity tasting beer. So I've actually had it over there. I take it back. The Australians do tend to trick their beer up like the Americans, but by and large, I just don't trick up beer. That's why I was kind of shocked. Oh, there we go. He's already made one appearance on the show.
Good grief. I don't know. There's
He was
people
He was
walking
up here
by.
earlier in the open. He was up here when I opened the show. He was up here. Yeah, how about that?
Okay, well, I'm going to sign off. I think I'm done down here getting ready.
Okay, what'd you get for dessert tonight?
I told you, Tiff's Treats.
Oh, that's right. Started making sandwiches or whatever.
No, I didn't get any ice cream.
That's what you're going to do.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. You didn't say ice cream. I just said Tiff's Treats.
It's kind of what we did last time when your folks came over, but that's all good. Hey, we'll have some Tiff's Treats.
Ice cream on top of 2 cookies.
All right, all good. You'll be doing a marathon.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm going to have to get up at 4 to run for 3 hours. This is ridiculous.
All right. Okay. Love you, bud. See you in a bit. Here we go. WD-40 cam right there as she checks in. Yeah, Best Made Pickles. Very good stuff. Very, very, very good stuff. And of course, every region's got their brands. What's the chip up there in that neck of the woods, Kevin? They're pretty good too. There's a name brand. It's the Dutch or something like that. Is that the one I'm thinking of? I think that's right. And there's those pretzels you get in Iowa. I can't remember the name of those, but there's certain regional snacks. Yeah, it's so good. It is. It's good that everybody. That's what you know. What there's a lot of social media ills, Tracy. A lot of them. There are a lot of social media ills, and I'm involved in for the ball club, for my business, and then personally, and I'm involved in all Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. There's a lot of negative out there, especially right now, the election 2 months away. It's a lot of negative on all the social, but it really keeps us all close. And I think that there's a lot of positives for it. Ministry, for example, just saying hi to mates and keeping up with people. I mean, that to me is as good as any reason to stay on it. There's a lot of evil for it, but again, trying to fight through the evil and have some fun with the good stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, Old Dutch. That's what I'm thinking of. I think. Yeah, Old Dutch. They got a really wicked barbecue chip. It's really good, really solid. And they're old school chips. Those are all really old school chips. Those are not like some fancy baked whatever. I mean, they're good. Those Old Dutch. That's what I'm thinking of. Old Dutch. And then their generic potato chips are solid, very solid, very solid. Dilemma tonight. I got this dilemma tonight. This is one for you guys. I'm involved in 2 fantasy leagues for football. Now, one of them I've been in for a long time. My friend Michael Todd, who's thanking for his service all the time. He is a retired United States military Army, West Point grad from Tennessee. He's a phenomenal guy, big mate of mine. Could spend many a Cowboy game watching games with this guy, and I'm one of the few civilians, let's call them, on this league. It's mostly his West Point buddies and me, and some family members. He's got I believe a brother, maybe a nephew, and some family members. But it's a large league. I think it's like a 16-team league, maybe 2 divisions, 8 teams. I think that's right. Maybe 14 teams, but maybe 3 divisions. Anyway, but it's a large league, and I've been in this league for quite a while. You don't win any money, just what's for glory. But the thing is, these are all really cool guys. A good majority of them are West Point guys. They're not all of them, but I would say a third are West Point guys, and the rest are his family and some mates. And Then I've got another group, and go like this, Kevo. I joined the Cleveland Railroaders Fantasy League football, which is at Cleveland, the team that's a rival of the Kansas City T-Bones in our division. Cleveland, of course, Cleveland, Texas. Brad Allred, which is a good mate of Kevin and I's, who's one of the voices of those Cleveland Railroaders, lined it up, and he had a couple spots left, and then he had one left, and I actually messaged him on Saturday before I went to dinner. I said, I used to be that one more person. He's like, yeah, absolutely. And so I'm playing with a bunch of young baseball players who probably were much more in tune to what's going on than this old guy, but it'll be fun. So, but the only dilemma I've got tonight is that and usually this is not uncommon. I've done my fantasy league draft every Labor Day weekend as far as I can. I remember being on the air in Winnipeg and in a rain delay and doing my fantasy league draft. I remember being on the bus driving back from Winnipeg back to KC doing my draft, or back to Gary doing my draft. I have many of Labor Day weekend on the Monday. Last year, it was after the game was over. We had a day game. I remember going to the pub and doing my draft for the Barstool in KC. So it's not uncommon. But this year, I've got two drafts 15 minutes apart. One starts at 7, one's at 7:15. And then we also have friends coming over. So one of them I'm gonna just auto draft, and one I'll kind of sort of watch. So I'm probably gonna do. So anyway, anybody else play fantasy football out there? Anybody think that's worth their time? I mean, is it? I know a lot of people are kind of down on NFL, but I'm kind of looking forward to it just to have. Only because it's the first normal sport schedule. I mean, it's the first. I mean, granted, not all the colleges are playing, but the NFL, when they start on Thursday, assuming they get through the season, are starting on time or not being delayed. I mean, the NBA started on time, the hockey did, but they both had their season stopped, and now they're playing in postseason in August, which last night was a definite on the edge of your seat. Dallas 1-0 over the Las Vegas Golden Knights, which is another thing. Kevin, explain this to me. NBC runs the graphic in the game, DAL for Dallas. Okay, that makes sense, right? DAL for the score, and DAL won. But Vegas is VGK, Vegas Golden Knights. It's not LAS. It's not VG. It's or whatever. It's Vegas Golden Knights is their abbreviation. What's up with that? I mean, it's usually that each city has either two initials or either use 3 letters or 2 letters, but Vegas Golden Knights is their actual. What's crowd situation in the NFL? I know the Cowboys play on Sunday in Los Angeles at the new stadium in LA, and I believe there'll be no fans there. The Cowboys' first 2 road games there, and then they have a game in 3 weeks' time against Seattle. Those 2 games will have no fans on the West Coast. I do believe the Cowboys are going to have fans, but I don't know the exact capacity. Here in Texas, the colleges are allowing fans. SMU played Texas State on Saturday down in San Marcos, and they had the band spaced out. You may have seen some of this weekend when Army played. The cadets spaced out the entire stadium. Tonight, Navy plays BYU. I'm interested to see what that crowd looks like. But there's going to be, 20,000 or whatever in the colleges. The NFL, Jerry World seats about 90 regularly, 100,000 with the squeeze extra seats in. They're not going to have season tickets, but I do believe they're going to be allowed to have, if they choose to, some, some bodies in the stands, but I don't know the exact situation. But somewhere our friend Jokovic got nailed the umpire. Did you see that? Did you see that? I've been watching the U.S. Open hardly, so I mean, this is usually not usually U.S. Open time. It's usually early August, usually end of August, right? Yeah, it's about right. We're maybe a couple weeks off for the U.S. Open, aren't we? It's about right at that time. But yeah, that's the situation there, Kevin. Of course, in the American Association, Kevin, it's going to be Sioux Falls First time since 2010 the playoffs, along with Milwaukee, their first ever foray into the postseason. And so that'll be the game set match beginning next Saturday, I believe. Is that right? I think that's right. I pulled that schedule up for Wednesday. We're going to Wednesday show already, and I believe that is correct. I think that's what I got. Yeah, Saturday. That's where that begins. So anyway, yeah, that's the situation with the crowd. So I don't know. But it's nice to have it. We're sitting there Sunday night thinking this is really. I got a message from my mate Paul Morgan in Australia, and he's like, "Happy last Sunday without the Cowboys for a while because it's going to be, assuming they can get through the season." He's right. I mean, he's a big Browns fan as well. So and the Cowboys and Browns play this year, but it'll be the last time the last time without any football. It was just crazy. I don't know if you guys saw this, that fire in California, but these people were surrounded. They were rescued, but they were surrounded by fire. Did you see that? And it's actually a military rescue. These people were surrounded by fire on all sides of them, and they actually had to be rescued and evacuated by the National Guard out in California by those big, huge helicopters. It's a bizarre story. These people were not. Show the video. There are 24 fires out there, but this big fire in California. These people were all squeezed in a helicopter, but they were all out there and surrounded. There was this guy on video going, "We're surrounded," and they came and got him. Amazing story, but crazy. But just a real sad thing to see those. And going through the wildfires in Australia last year was really, tell you, it's things you got to be careful, man. I mean, it's amazing. We haven't, knock on wood, we haven't had really trouble with them in Texas since 2014, I believe, but been a while. We could be justified calling the games with T-Bone's mix with the T-Bone's connection. Yeah, oh yeah, there's no doubt. I actually, Kevin, I did hear back from Tom and kind of it's up. They're not doing anything. It's kind of up in the air, but it's definitely. I did throw it out there to Tom with the voice of Tom Wynn, the voice of the Milwaukee Milkmen, and I think it might kind of hinge on the league when the league thinks, but I don't know if it won't be a moneymaker, but it's not really the idea. It's more of a gesture, I think, than anything else. But anyway, yeah. Well, that's what I thought. The T-Bone Network would have, Sizzle, and just put a little graphic there over with Sizzle with whatever the cow's name is there in Elsie or whatever her name is there in Milwaukee. That'd be all good. So yeah, definitely. There's a lot of tie-ins there for sure, no doubt about it. Anyway, what else you guys got? Are they grilling out? Oh, Kevin had the green onion brats. Kevin, I did see the closest thing to it this weekend was one of the markets here had a onion jalapeno chicken sausage. I don't mind chicken sausage. I don't mind it, but it has to be done right or it's going to be bland. If you don't spice it up and really make it sausagey, it does have a bit of a, bovine. That's it, bovine. It has a bit of a chickeny taste to it, but yeah, bovine. Let me move this time. I don't know where my mom is today. She wasn't around. I guess she must be out and about. Yes, in case you join us late, sour pickle beer. Yeah, there you go. Pretty daggum good. Brewed in can by Martin House Brewing in Fort Worth. But yeah, it's pickled beer. Best Made is a brand of pickle. That's why it's Best Made. But yeah, tried it, worked out, and good. I had it one last night. Solid. So solid. Yeah, too many. Yeah, see, that's the thing about sausage because you can almost trick them up too much. There was one. It was There was a blueberry breakfast sausage. It looked pretty good. I was tempted to try it. We just don't eat a lot of brekkie here. We just don't. I eat a smoothie usually when I'm having brekkie if I'm having it. There was a blueberry one. There was also one that it was bacon sauce, bacon, cheddar, and there was something else. It was three things, and almost three things too much. I'm kind of with you. Although my favorite though, Kevin, is just the straight spicy sausage. I mean, I'm fine with that. That's what I like the best. Too many flavors for your attention. You don't want to get. That's why I like the green onion broth. It's pretty solid. Pretty solid. We got a package in the fridge. We had a Chipotle one recently that was good. We got another one out there now. I forget which our freezer. I forget what it is. We got a Johnsonville that we liked last time. I forget which one it was though. Johnsonville's good for a store bought. In the freezer section. That's the one thing I miss about Australia, and because the Commonwealth countries, especially the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, are all very big into sausage. You go to even a normal supermarket in Australia, go to Woolies, and you'll go there, and there'll be the meat section or the sausage section is huge. I mean, it is literally because you have a lot of expats in different countries there. And you've got different. You've got your chicken, you got your beef, you got your pork, you got your kangaroo. You've got it all. You got your bangers and mash type that you get in England. You'll have a lamb when you got your especially go to Melbourne, you get Greek sausage, Italian sausage, even German. A lot of that there in Melbourne as well. It's just crazy because I remember first time I walked through the supermarket in Australia, my first time doing my grocery shopping, my flat in 2012. I was blown away with all the sausage options. Sausage and bacon options in Australia are huge. Huge. You'd love it over there for all those options. A garlic sausage on a pretzel bun. Too much on the flavor side. Garlic sausage on a pretzel bun is too much. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Too much. Yeah, sausage has got to have really basically the one, maybe two, but one. Especially if you're going to have a flavored bun or some kind of bun that's going to be tricked up. And if you're, again, I like my stuff spicy, so especially sausage side, and if you're going to be putting a mustard on there or something, you're right. I'm kind of with you on that, Kevin. We've got. Of course, here in Texas, deer sausage. I'm sure it's big up in Minnesota too. Deer sausage is huge, which is sort of like kangaroo sausage, I guess. But yeah, that's you walk through the meat section in Australia, it'll get your attention. I got the point. I was just trying different kinds of sausage, and Australia is big about it. They call them sausage sizzles. You go to even at the ballpark, they'll have the flat grill. They call it a Barbie, but it's a grill. But instead of the grill marks, they got a flat flat surface of the grill, right? So it's like what you see in a short order place, like a Waffle House, but instead you have it on a grill, and they don't have the holes in it. That's how they cook most of their stuff on the Barbie, if you will. And they do a sausage sizzle, and you get a sausage in a bun, and then usually in Australia it's pretty simple: sausage, onions, and that's pretty much it. And whatever mustard you want to put on there, and it's pretty straightforward. Spicy or not spicy, it's pretty straightforward. So not a lot of conflicting tastes there, Kevin. That's why it's definitely a must. And Paul and I were on the air in Perth our first couple of years. The under 14 team, the Little League, or not Little League, the under 14 state team would do the sausage sizzle. I think for $1, you would get a sausage on a bun, and they would bring us up like a little box of them. We just go through them during the broadcast and give them a 20 spot and donate to the cause, and they wouldn't charge us. I know, because they're raising money to travel across the country to play in the national tournament. Okay, virtual happy hour. I'm just rambling today. Again, it's the show where you stop by, you say hi, have a beverage, go to the bar, order 2 of whatever we got, which today was pickled beer. Yes, pickled juice beer. Labor Day. Not a lot today. This show doesn't have a lot anyway, especially Mom's not on. It is not a lot, although I'll give you guys a last call because, again, we do have guests coming over. We do have a last call. If you want to jump in the green room, you can. We will hopefully get you guys to jump in the green room on Wednesday. You can always go to that link right there on the page. That link will take you to the green room. I'll get you on the show for future shows. The wife and I had a long discussion today, sort of, mostly her discussion, but we had a discussion about the re-changing this thing up, and probably won't go to that until next week. Still kind of fight through this thing Wednesday because I still want to stay on this schedule for one more week because then the off season kicks in for me for the T-Bones as our ghost season officially ends on Thursday. So I want one more little round of T-Bones and normal stuff, and then we'll go into the off-season mode. But yeah, you guys can go to the green room this week, and we'd love to have you guys join me. I'll put that link up there as well for you folks in a reminder. I usually do a social media blitz on Monday, but being Labor Day, I didn't do it. But I usually put all my shows up. I'll do it tomorrow and all that. But I don't know if I can try. I'm going to try something real quick here. I don't know if it's going to work. Let me just see if it works. If it does, I'll be very excited. I'm going to try something here. All righty here. I think it will. Maybe it'll work. I think it did. I want to show you guys something I've been doing. This is something I've been doing. It will load in there. I want to show it to you guys. Kind of a fun little thing that I'm doing for my Talking Baseball Australia show. If you follow me on Twitter, you may have seen this, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to you guys as a parting gift, if we will. But if it loads, we'll see if it loads or not. I don't know if it will or not. But what else you guys got? It's loading. It takes a moment here to load here. It's just going to load for me, so I'm going to play this for you guys. It's called the Pin. Something I do with Paul and I. It's part of our show. And actually, I probably should do is probably play one with Paul and I, not one with. If I'm with Paul and I would have been. It would have been today's the 6th, 7th. So maybe it is this one. Let's see. I don't remember. Oh, no, maybe this is the one. Let's see. This may be the one of. Let me see here. 9. Maybe this is it. All right, let's try. This is one. I'll give you guys this one here. Let's try this one here and see if it's. I get the feeling from you, watching you on social media, seeing you blow about your business with the Heat. It's a family. Tell us about that. Tell the Australian family of baseball fans out there, what makes the Heat family so unique?
Yeah, it is. It's a really unique culture. Just when I came in, it was obviously with Luke Hughes and Tim Kennelly and some of the older guys. And they kind of set the tone. I don't know if they directly were trying to set the culture. They're just two competitive guys that kind of made everyone around them better. And then we had Hendricks and we had some good guys. And I think that's been passed down for guys. And now you see Alex Hall and Jesse Williams, and those guys have kind of carried it on. And I think what's made the Heat successful for a long time now is that we have the best core group of Australian players.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're able to bring in imports, and we can add anybody, and they kind of just fit into the culture because that Australian culture is so strong. And I think you're starting to see it a little bit with Adelaide this year. They developed a really young core group of Australian players, and I think you have to have that to be successful in the ABL.
Yeah, and I want to give you one more. This is shorter. This is a little short. This is Paul and I want to give you guys this one. This is Paul Morgan and I and our Call the Pin from a couple of days ago, and it's what we do. I just want to play this. I'm digging these little videos we're doing. These are on Twitter. I have a theory, and part, my theory. My theory is cricketers and footy players make daggum good pitchers. Any thought of the Open on that?
Well, yeah, and I think it's just purely like, I think if you can get the mechanics from different sports going, and I think you're spot on with your theory. And what's interesting, even to kind of parlay separately, I remember a conversation I was having recently with Don Knapp, who's one of the original pioneers who came out to Western Australia from the US, and the Cricket Association, brought Don along in the 70s and 80s to teach them how to field. So I think, I think there's a real, I agree with what your sentiment is around footy players and cricketers becoming really good pitchers. And I just think generally in sports, maybe sports have an opportunity, perhaps don't do a good enough job kind of cross-pollinating and figuring out how we can become ultimate athletes based on other sports.
Yeah, see, that's our show right there. I mean, it's fun. It's amazing. There's a plus this summer for me. Hell, Spider, by the way. Good morning to you, mate. Not calling baseball games has been painful, but to be able to produce things like that, I could not have produced that a year ago. I could have produced that 20 years ago, an old Super Beta VHS, but it wouldn't have looked that sharp. I mean, it wouldn't have been that way. And being able to produce those things, that's a plus for this year. So I will. Oh, actually, why is that little crooked there too? There we go. It's kind of like. But plus, so I'm very excited, very thankful that I've been able to pull that off. Okay, we'll be back on Wednesday. Again, I got a little early departure here today because, again, it's a virtual happy hour, but we do have guests coming over, and I got to get ready for that and what have you. But best to all of you guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Labor Day in the States. By the way, Spider and a few folks in Australia watching later, happy late Father's Day. It was Father's Day in Australia over the weekend. And best to all you guys, you fathers over there in Australia. And best to you guys, because it's weird. Their Father's Day is September. Ours is in May, June, whatever. Both springtime, I guess, right? So all good. But okay, Wednesday, 5 o'clock again, 5 to 6-ish, wherever. Don't know if we'll have more pickled beer by then. We may. I may drink them all between now and then. We'll see. But again, you can. And today's best made sour pickle beer. Yes, that was our thing. They're from here, Martin's there in Fort Worth. All right, let's put the close sign, or the close up. Again, much love to you guys. Big hugs, virtual hugs to everybody. I miss y'all. Hope you're doing well. Let's be better tomorrow than we were today. Let's show lots of love, lots of empathy, and let's keep going forward with some positivity and love one another. And let's keep rocking and rolling and be better when we come out of this thing. We're going to come out of it eventually. And I didn't give you the weather or anything else that I did. I should have done that. Okay, well, it was 90 degrees in Dallas, Fort Worth today, so all good. All right, here we go. There's the close. Put it up, roll it. See you guys on Wednesday, 5 o'clock. That's 6 a.m. in the West. See you guys. Much love. See y'all then.